Franklin has been what I consider to be a bridge for race relations between whites and blacks. He started a group called Chattanooga Connected, which is just getting blacks and whites together to have conversations about their stories and how they came to be where they are, and to share those stories.
He was just so genuine as a person. He didn't seem to have any axes to grind other than the fact that he really believed that there was discrimination in this community and that it was impacting, the students in our community. And as a result of that, he was very supportive of the student protests that took place out of Howard School when they decided to go downtown and deal with the sit-ins.
To hear about Franklin's experience and the experience that he had with his family and his father and his story of transformation was extremely impactful to me, and the relevance of that story and how it has impacted the trajectory of his philanthropy, the trajectory of his civic engagement in Chattanooga now that he's back here, is heartwarming, and I don't think it's anything that any of us can sleep on. I mean, he's got a perspective that most of us don't have.
He stood up to his own family to teach at Howard High School, and that to me is a courageous thing.
But Franklin and his wife, they invited us into their home. And that was kind of unusual at that point in time. Normally you would meet with Caucasian people, out in the school somewhere, or you'd meet with them maybe in a recreation center, or but you never really got into their homes.
My favorite attribute of Franklin is when he tells people to hold the microphone up to their mouths because he can't hear them. And while that sounds like a joke, having a background in theater and being on stage and loving to public speak myself, it's the importance of voice and people hearing your voice, no matter what it is that you have to say, no matter how disagreeable your thoughts and opinions are. But I think about Franklin and how often I hear him to tell people to hold the mic up to their mouths, not to be funny, but to be heard.
I remember one night we were protesting out at the Lions Den, and we were all out there. We went out there to protest, okay? And Franklin went with us that night, okay? And I remember me and Moses, we all started to go back to our homes after we had finished doing what we were doing. And I remember I lived no more than 100 yards from Franklin. And I remember leaving the Lions Den, coming into the Glenwood neighborhood, passing his house, coming to my house, and just as I opened the door, a bomb went off. Okay? And the only thing I could think of was they got his house confused with my house. But the bottom line is that the bomb didn't go off at his house, but it was so close, okay? I actually thought it was probably meant for me, okay? But that has stood out in my mind, as the risk that he was willing to take and the jeopardy that he put himself in to help us achieve a better Chattanooga.
Anyone who knows me knows that one of my love languages is music, and the words of other people have, and so I would like to express a sentiment from a song. I would borrow these words from Steve Schwartz. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow, if we let them, and we help them in return. Now, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before I part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whichever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun. Like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the woods. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better, and because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Franklin, I'm lucky to have met you and fortunate to be called a friend. I love you like a brother.
Wherever we were protesting, okay, he was going to be there. Okay, it wasn't like, I'll see you guys later when you get back from the protest. He would always say, well, where are we going? What time we going to do it? And he would always be willing to be out front. Okay, like I said, he didn't believe in leading from behind. Okay, he always wanted to put his integrity, okay, and I guess to some extent even his life on line by having this very close association with the African American community and the leadership in the African American community. I would like to say to Franklin tonight, just say thank you for being a man who was willing to stand up and take a position on making our community better. You did not have to do what you did in order to help us to achieve a more equitable society in Chattanooga. You didn't have to teach at Howard High School. You didn't have to come out on the picket lines with us. You didn't have to protest at City Hall. You didn't have to do any of that. You could have been well off just staying home doing what it is that you would normally do to be to yourself. I would like to say you're a very unselfish man and you truly loved your brothers and sisters here in Chattanooga.
I love you, Franklin, with everything in me. And more than you know, you have greatly impacted me and my family. So often when I think of you, I think of my uncles and my mom and my grandparents, and I remember the stories that my family members tell of you when you were a teacher at the Howard School back in the mid-'60s and late '60s. So not only have you impacted me, you made an impact on my aunts and my uncles and my mom as their educator. And I want you to know that your legacy lives on, your father's legacy lives on, your grandfather's legacy lives on, and I love you tremendously and dearly. And I hope you feel that love coming through the camera now. I love you.